Here, your support meant so much to me. I went and cleaned up DC. I really appreciate it. But the Dan Bongino Show is back February 2nd, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Rumble.com/Bongino, exclusively there. Join us in the chat. Join us on Rumble. We'd love to see you. I can't wait to see you all there. Rumble.com/Bongino, February 2nd, 10 a.m.
He is like the little boy that Trump told him to be. Fake guy, that little fake guy tough talk, no one fell for. And today was his first day back on Rumble, as I previously said. A lot of people, including myself, used to watch him. Now we have no respect for him. He went on a blocking tour. Let me tell you, he was blocking anyone who had any criticism towards him, and he was blocking anyone who brought up the word Epstein. So what does that tell you? That he's not ready to, come clean with what happened. He's not ready to tell the truth about what happened and why he didn't fill his promises. But anyways, we're going to react to 3 of the clips from his show, and then we're going to see the one clip with Trump, and then we're going to go through Epstein updates. It is insane. If you guys have not been staying up to par with the Epstein updates, it's constant and it's crazy. But anyways, hope you guys are having a blessed day. Let's get it started, y'all.
Second, you're going to be disliked. There is no level 10 decision you're going to make that is going to make everybody happy. It's not going to happen, period. There is no way. You saw it with all the stuff, the Epstein case, the other things we had to deal with. There is no decision you're going to make that is going to make everybody happy. And you have to deal with it. If you're there to be liked, you're in the wrong job. Get out right away. Third, and this is probably the most important takeaway, you're going to be misunderstood. You're going to have a bunch of 18-year-old, Washington Post writers with no experience in the real world at all, commenting on your decisions you made with no background whatsoever as to why you made them. I get it. I mean, it's understandable. They're not read in on these programs, but I'll address this with President Trump later, how he's making decisions on Greenland and the Don Roe Doctrine based on a president's daily brief he gets every day that these media people have no idea. They don't even know what the freaking threats are. Like, oh, that's a crazy decision. How do you know? I don't know. I guessed. I read it in a Charlie Brown encyclopedia with him. You don't know shit. You don't know anything. Just be honest that you don't know. You can have an opinion on it. I'm not telling you media people. I'm not telling you media people not to have an opinion. Have an opinion. Great. It's a constitutional republic. But just be honest that you don't know shit. And he does. He's read in on all this stuff. So you're going to be misunderstood because there are things even now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to talk about. There are ongoing cases and other things. And you guys didn't pay me, the taxpayer, to go in there and come out here and try to be some superhero. You paid me to do the right thing. And the right thing involves keeping custody over information. So you're going to be misunderstood about stuff.
He's pretty much saying, I'm not going to tell you anything. And we didn't pay you to be a superhero. We paid you just to do your job. That doesn't even make any sense at all. You're supposed to protect and honor that when you swear an oath to your job. And here's just another example. The Dan Bongino Show is muting people who were used to mention Epstein. And because he's the one, he was
target.
Him and Kash Patel, when Trump last previously ran, were the loudest on their platforms. Any podcast, any show they went on, they were the loudest in regards to Epstein and, the government gangsters, as Kash said in his book. Why hasn't there been any arrests? It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, with the stuff coming out about, all these pedophiles across the country, even in our country, why is there, with video evidence, email, and all this stuff, been 0 arrests? They aren't even talking about it. And for Dan Bongino to go on this show and to attack his main audience, including myself, who used to listen to him and now just blocks everyone who criticizes him, just shows he's a little baby. He's a fake tough guy who really just, probably cries behind the scenes because no one's buying what he's saying. And then acts tough on camera.
And by the way, all the attacks you had, all my, bullshit detractors or whatever, you don't know shit about anything, throwing popcorn from the front row. It's the #1 live stream in the world, like the globe, like the round thing, the rock we live on. By a long shot, 226,000 people showed
All right,
up.
I want to speak on that because people keep posting this on X today that he had the loudest show in the whole entire world today. If you read the comment section, like the live chat and the comment section just on Rumble alone, I'd say over half of the people are there talking shit, calling him out, or there to see if he's actually going to talk about anything of relevance. Over half. So you can shove those numbers up your ass because that doesn't count at the end of the day. I would say about 60% of the live chat were going off on him. I'd say about 70% of the comments were saying how much they cannot stand him. And then on X, mostly real people. You can tell who's real from who's fake. The grifters who kiss his ass from the people who actually hold him at his own word. And I would say it's about an 85% ratio, even in the grifters who are supporting him, of people calling them and Dan out. And they don't like that. It's constant because people are sick of these empty promises. We are sick of it. The left and the right are the same party. They play us from both sides because they don't want us to unite. So the center left and the center right, because I'm not even hard right, because I think the hard right is these Zionists, neocons, and then the left is these hardcore libs. We just need the normies. And I'd say it's 80 to 90% of the country. We need to unite, go against the machine. Otherwise, this shit's just going to continue and it's going to get worse.
That's with a DDoS attack, by the way. A DDoS attack that was really well organized to try to shut us down. We were down. I'm not embarrassed to tell you because I'm such a target that they came after the whole damn website. And someone just sent me some information from Rumble. The quote, they've never seen anything like it. That's how bad they want to keep me off the air. But I have my first, guys, you ready for this? Get ready for the screenshot. Jim, you know where I'm going with this? My first double barrel to those who tried to stop us.
No, we called you out, and you called you out on your own words. This is some, I'm trying not to cuss. This is some biatch energy right here. Can't take criticism, so you just block people, and then you go on camera. People call you out on your Rumble show, and they still call you out, and you block them, and then they call you out in your live chat, and then you mute them. Like, it's pathetic. This guy worked as a cop. It's just, these are the type. I hope this is not the type of people we're hiring for our law enforcement and police. This is just embarrassing. Talk about pussy of a man.
Because the Podfather's back, and we're taking the movement back. It's not my movement, but I helped build it. I've been here a long time, since the Tea Party days, as a candidate and elsewhere. I'm not going to let a bunch of shitheads and doomers and everyone else sit here and collapse this movement like cannibals and eat it from the inside. No chance. Zero. And now you can see it. I'm sure the media people write a story. A guy in the comments said Dan sucks. Yeah, he was one of 226,000 people in the comments. You may want to put that in there. Just a thought. I know you've already written your stories, but we always win.
This is such a terrible take. So he's pretty much just calling anyone who criticizes him an idiot or a liberal or a know-nothing. Hey, John, hope you're having a great day. Yeah, Dan's a freaking clown. If there was a time to ever be honest and just be like, hey, I know I haven't been the right person these past few weeks. I did take it a little personal. I'm sorry. I was in a tough position. The swamp is just too deep. And I tried my best. But if he would have done that, people would have actually had some respect. We could have, maybe looked over and past his actions of him blocking everyone. But he's just doubled and tripled down. And then you got these dumbass grifters on X that are backing him. And it's always the same type of person. You know what I mean? Like Gunther Elderman on X, and who else? Matt Walsh, who works for the Daily Wire. And of course, Zionist Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin. It's all these neocons. It's not his original people who used to follow Dan Bongino. Well, before he lost all credibility.
Are the grifters out there who mistakenly thought I wasn't coming back. Now, I am back. The Podfather is back, and I'm here to take back this movement. This movement's been hijacked by a small group of dipshits and bums and losers who are nothing but doomers under the frame of accountability. I'm all about accountability. I just showed you what we did or what we didn't. Did I not? I'm not sitting here going, hey, trust me, bro. I showed you. If you like it, great.
That's exactly what he did with the Epstein suicide. He told us to trust him, and then they proceeded to give us zero evidence that Epstein offed himself. The more I hear from other influencers, I'm starting to think Epstein's alive, guys. I really do.
You don't, that is absolutely your constitutional right. You paid for it to go out and go, that sucked. I would have done something different. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't do anything different. I'm not sure if you volunteered to serve or not, but you didn't. You sat in the front row with your popcorn, ankle biting, throwing this popcorn at the ring at two guys in there sparring away, fighting for this country while you did shit.
This dude can't even, first of all, he can't even fight. He's trying to sound like a warrior right now. I'm sorry, I got to stop pausing it.
Talked about it. So you didn't do anything. Now, I'm back on the air. I'm not going to take on every single thing in one day in one show. But I'm telling you right now, your bullshit, I'm done with it. The grifter bums, all you guys are a class of doomers. Everything sucks all the time. You would have done it different. You didn't do shit. You did nothing. You didn't volunteer. You didn't ask. You didn't give up your show to do. You did nothing. All you did was bullshit people and say, nothing's happening. And then when we tell you, oh, it just happened, you move on to something else you say is not going to happen.
The only thing that I've seen Dan address is the secure the border, the secured border. And that's the one thing I've actually gave kudos to this administration this whole time about. So because we've already given kudos, as I've seen a lot of these other influencers I follow and get my news from give you kudos on that, you can't really use that as a talking point anymore. You keep on saying, oh, you don't accept these good numbers, then you provide zero proof. Every number can be messed with, as we saw under the Biden administration. We go off of what we see in our everyday lives, and what we're seeing is nothing's getting better. So you can continue to lie and say we didn't sign up or volunteer for service, acting like just because we didn't serve our country, we can't have a voice. But no, we're going to be very vocal, and we're going to call your ass out for the fraud you are. We use you to your own words. That's what he doesn't like.
And then when that happens, you move on to something else. Totally full of shit. Thank you. There's some numbers. This was from an Epic Times. Nothing's happening.
With those.
35% increase in espionage arrests. That's not nothing. You don't have to like it, but it's not nothing, okay? 78% increase in China-related espionage. Again, not nothing. 112% increase in Asian applications. 20% drop in the nationwide murder rate. Again, you don't have to like it.
I don't believe that.
You could say, I would have done.
I don't believe anything in regards to the murder rates, because what I see is the same every day in my city. Until I see actually a change, then I ain't going to believe it. All they do is clean this, like, one area of a street off. The homeless people move across the street, and then within a month, they're right back. And it's repeats twice a year, every year. And that's what's happening still during this administration. I mean, there is so much corruption in regards to Gavin Newsom in the state that I live in, California. Nothing's happened. I mean, I think you can lock him up and charge him with treason with all the stuff with the Palestine fires. Yet this administration has done nothing. What about Minnesota fraud? Nothing. They are all talk lip service, especially this clown.
21. Yeah, but you didn't. What's that? Guy, thank you, Guy. Guy's like, I don't like murders. I'm all for this. Me either. 20% increase in FBI arrests related to 764 child exploitation network. 640 individuals disrupted from conducting terror attacks. You don't have to like it, bro. You don't have to like any of it. But don't say it's nothing. A lot of people put a lot of hard work into it, from this administration at the top on down. You want to critique it, say you would have done better, step up. Step up. Go ahead. They got openings. You go try it. See what you're dealing with.
He talks about crime and getting rid of criminals and arresting people who have committed pedophilia crimes on children. Yet when it comes to the biggest pedophiles of them all, Epstein, they have fully covered up for this whole entire system. So you kind of lose all credibility there. If you're going to protect the pedophiles at the top and go for the small timers, yes, that's good. But why aren't you going for the big timers when you've had all the Epstein stuff all along? And now with what's being exposed, we know Mossad and Israel is involved. I seen a video about Netanyahu actually being involved that I did a short on yesterday on my YouTube. Yeah, it's terrible. And Israel runs the show. And I think the reason why they released all this stuff they did is because Trump wouldn't strike Iran. And I mean, they even made Marco Rubio look bad. He was part of the Russiagate installation under Trump's first administration, and he's working in Trump's administration currently right now, and he was a part of the cover-up. It's just ridiculous at this point. No one is buying this fake guy tough, like this tough fake guy, whatever you call it. And now we have Trump today. I only need to listen to one. I used to love listening to Trump, but I can't stand him anymore. But he calls in and he talks about Minnesota. But as we know, 0 arrests have been made. So, I mean, it's really pointless if you're not going to hold anyone accountable to even bring it up.
Minnesota, if they allowed us to do the job, it's a mess. There's something in the water up there. And I love the state. I won the state 3 times, but I got no credit for it. I won that state 3 times, but it's a rigged state, really rigged badly with the Somalians and the theft. And I guess you studied it, but I hear it's over $19 billion. Okay. Can you imagine? They have a country where they have no money, they have no nothing, and they come over here and they steal. They're able to steal more than $19 billion. And we're right on their ass.
Yeah, that was one of the first cases but when I got in.
These are people that don't work. Yeah. Dan, these are people that don't work. These are people that are just not an asset to our society, to put it mildly. And we got to get them out, most of them. And it's most of them.
I want to tell the audience.
92% don't work.
Yeah.
And they have an unbelievable system, corrupt system of welfare. You know, many of them drive Mercedes-Benzes, had nothing when they came over. The good news is, you notice they don't see ships being stolen anymore from Somalia, because we hit those guys with the same weapon that we take out the drug dealers from the ocean. We stop every time we hit a boat. We knock out. We save 20.
This is what I have a problem with. They say that these are drug boats. Then they provide 0 proof that they're drug boats. Like I even got in a debate with my father about this. He's like, no, they are drug boats. I'm like, where's the proof? I haven't seen any picture or video proof. All I see is them bombing boats and saying they're drug boats when I hear other people say they're fishing boats. So what is it? If you're going to try to prove the statement right, though, you better do it, because you can't just bomb boats and then provide 0 proof and say, trust me, guys, that's what's happening right now. This is just a joke. And again, if there's over $10 billion in fraud, why aren't you arresting the governor? He's not, because they're all talk.
5,000 on each boat, and pretty accurate. Each boat is responsible for the death of 25,000 Americans. Think of that, okay? And we knock them out like candy. We are knocking them out. We also do that with the pirates in Somalia. That's why you don't see ships being taken anymore, because they don't play games. So, you know, they were stealing ships every day. Now it takes courage to steal ships. They don't do it. You understand. And you did a great job while at the FBI, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well,
that's why he quit within a year, bro. This is such a joke. Yeah, you did such a great job that you quit within the first year, bro. You're doing so good. You're doing so good. Yeah, no one's buying this at all. And if you are, you're just an idiot or a paid grifter. If you're doing a good job, you would have lasted more than a year. And you would have done those accomplishments you talked about the most on your Rumble channel before you got into this administration, which was Epstein, which was government corruption, which you've done neither. You just talked about the low balls, like the small timers, and yet you did nothing in regards to the big timers. So again, you didn't influence any single way to change the system to benefit Americans. Now we got about 4 conspiracy theory updates on Epstein. These are going to blow your mind.
Remember y'all was calling conspiracy theories crazy when we was right the whole time? Now your ass is mad about the Epstein files is coming out because you have a veneration and a credence for your favorite world leader, celebrity, and politician. So what you got to understand is that the great majority of these people are devils who practice Canaanite culture. So when it comes to conspiracy theorists, we read patterns and we read energy. So we're not crazy, we were just early. See, we're in the age of information, so the truth is going to come out regardless. And for the people who are stuck in religion, one thing you got to understand about the political apparatus, the Antichrist that you speak about in your Bible is not going to be somebody who works at fucking McDonald's. It's going to be somebody who has political or celebrity influence. So why should you put your trust in these people? That doesn't even make sense. That's like multiplying any number by 0. At this moment of time, if you don't understand what's going on, I can't explain nothing more advanced than the weather to you. Because when you go to Job chapter 9, verse 24, it says that the world be given to the hands of the wicked. And who is the wicked? The people who control religion, the people who control politics, and the people who control Hollywood. So why are you surprised about the Epstein files? You move different when you know the truth. So when it comes to the chosen ones, we don't argue with people who are asleep. We just move in silence as the world collapses. So at this moment of time, if you're still showing credence and veneration to these politicians, celebrities, and these pastors, you're just retarded.
Facts. I mean, where's he wrong? The same people in the music industry, they're actually influencing like the Christian industry. Like these churches, these pastors are getting paid from the Israel government to push the propaganda. It's being forced everywhere in the school system, music, movie, Hollywood, even in just everywhere. It's insane. Here's probably one of my favorite things that popped up today.
Everybody, it's Angel Dust. So here's some of the most heinous things verified to be in the Epstein files so far. Babies being killed and eaten, young girls being forcibly impregnated and forced to give birth to Jeffrey Epstein's children as part of a crazy eugenic scheme. Victims buried on Trump's golf course. Trump, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, all involved. Elon Musk on Christmas Day at 6 a.m. begging to go to one of Epstein's parties. I'm sure he got a chance to attend one at some point. If this is what the DOJ is willing to release, and there's millions of more files that haven't been released, just imagine what's not being told. The allegations within these files are some of the most heinous, horrendous things a human being could possibly do. And they are committed by the most powerful and protected people within your society. And I could not give less of a fuck who did or did not do what. They're all in on it. They all knew about it. They were all complicit, regardless of who did what. And they are all protected. There's a sickness, a vile sickness in your country and in your democracy. They are all compromised. That's why nothing works. That's why they're beholden to this one tiny little country. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a good guy. I'm part of the problem. But my family, being a royal family on the European line, and also being a military family, super square, kind of knew about these things and heard about these things over the years, but never had any direct involvement. We're involved in some fucked up shit, but not any of that fucked up shit. So there's a tipping point here. There's an opportunity. You cannot give up on this. You cannot give in. Share everything that you see online regarding this matter, and do not accept anything other than full release of the files as dictated by law. Peace, blessings, and shine on.
So my partake on this whole Epstein disclosure is that, and I've heard a lot of people say this, like influencers I trust who I get my news from. I know we probably all have our own, but they said that the only reason the Epstein files were released was because we didn't strike Iran. Israel wanted us to strike Iran, and we didn't within the time frame, which I believe was the exact day all of these were released. And that's why they were kind of, a lot of stuff coming out about Trump, and a lot of it, I know, probably didn't sound true, but some of it might have been true. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I've heard a lot of people bring up Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, even Marco Rubio. It seems like, and I've heard also a lot of people say that Jared Kushner also runs this whole administration and ran the last administration, and that he's pretty much the puppet president. Donald Trump is, and that Jared Kushner is the one calling the strings. I've heard that from a lot of people. And I mean, it makes sense because he's the one running the whole Gaza, the whatever they're doing. They're literally just running over these families who live in Gaza and killing them all. And then talking about building like casinos and like this new Gaza land. And it's just disgusting what they're doing. And I feel bad for the Gazan people. Epstein is alive and 4chan is not. I do believe Epstein is alive. I was just saying that. It's funny you just said that. I was saying that like 5 minutes ago. I've seen a lot of people saying Epstein's alive and that he pretty much had the most control, and there's no way they would have been able to take him out.
It's time for the top 5 wacky Epstein email files. Let's get into it. A big batch of wackiness today. This one talks about how MI6 and Mossad were working together with Jeffrey in order to launder money through Libya. Remember Gaddafi? Oh yeah, good stuff. This is a text message contained in the files talking about adrenochrome harvesting. It also goes on to say that the temple has an underground temple, and there's some secret underground shit on Epstein Island. This document talks about the current president of the United States having sex with underage girls multiple times. And more of it. You can read it yourself. And let's not forget Elon Musk wanting an epic vacation on Epstein Island. Cool. Oh, and of course this. It's time for the top 5.
We already know Trump's compromised by Israel. I actually have been saying for a while now he doesn't run the show. And now we know he was just a puppet or Jared Kushner, guys. They have these honey plants that they put in place, just like Erica Kirk with Charlie Kirk. It was a setup. They met in Israel. Her family was tied to the Mossad, to the Israel government. They don't just meet naturally. They are put in a position where they meet. And then what happens? They off Charlie the minute he starts critiquing Israel and the Mossad government. And what happens? She takes over the whole entire business, and they bring in those exact people that Charlie didn't like, that he was actually shutting down towards the end, into the picture. It's, in my eyes, it's so simple to see the bigger picture. They're pushing this Zionist one world government on the people, and also protecting the pedophiles at the top. And I do think that they are demons. I think they are shape-shifting lizards. And if you guys have heard Liz Crokin's exposure probably 10 plus years ago of Pizzagate, this is Pizzagate. People don't know what Pizzagate is. I would suggest you look into it. We're talking about child sacrifice. We're talking about witchcraft. We're talking about demons, actual demons, shape-shifting demons. I think it's both sides. I think it is the whole government, left and right. And I think they're playing us to keep us divided. Because if we unite, then we can fight against them. And there's more of us than them. You know what I mean? But again, they're demons. So they might be shape-shifting once it comes to that point. But I think we are living in biblical times, regardless if you're Christian or not, or believe in God. And that's just my perspective. But let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.